Hi, I'm Tom Laskowski, and welcome to our every other Thursday Facebook Live. I'm with Midwest Native Skills, and every other Thursday we give about a 45-minute little talk on various topics. And today we're going to talk about a mini bug-out bag. So please let us know if you're out there. I like to know who I'm talking to. It doesn't feel so lonely for me. Let us know if you're new. I'd like to give you a shout out. And especially if you have any questions on the topic, or any survival questions really, but especially if they're topic related, anything about a bug out bag, or if you have a bug out bag and you just have questions about what to put in it, what to take out, or maybe some suggestions on how I can improve my little mini bug out bag here. Just to let you know about our classes, we're getting our classes filled up. Our spring plan class, the Saturday one on May 16th is all full, but we added one the very next day on Sunday, May 16th, and there's still openings in that plan class. Our May 21st through 23rd weekend survival class, that one is also filled up. So the next weekend class coming up is going to be July 9th through 11th, and we do have openings at that one. So that'll be a nice midsummer. We'll have a lot of summer constellations for that. We can point out the summer triangle and all that during that class. So if you're interested in the weekend class, we have our week survival class, plenty of room in that one, June 13th through 19th. That's a Sunday through a Saturday. We have our beekeeping class. That's going to be June 25th. And of course, and this one's starting to fill up. We still have plenty of room. It's our moonshine making class. And that's Saturday, July 3rd, just before the 4th of July. So those are the classes coming up. And they are filling up this year quite early. So if you're interested, please go to the website, survivalschool.com, and put your name in and fill out the application. And if you have any questions, you can always call us. Okay, back to the subject of the day, a survival kit. This past weekend, I went over to my sister-in-law Cindy's, and we were just talking, and she asked me, what the topic for the week was, and I said, well, I'm going to talk about, kind of reducing a bug-out bag. And first thing she said is, you did that already. And you talked about this bag that was too big. I'd never carry that. And I said, yeah, I did the topic, but I was going to kind of go through it a little more in detail on how you can reduce it. And just by her reaction, I thought, well, maybe I better really pare it down. And so I thought, okay, I did and always have had 2 bug-out bags. You saw my bigger one. That's basically one for the car. Yes, I can carry it, not very far, maybe a mile or two, but it's really designed to have everything for most any situation and keep me out there for extended periods of time. I do have a smaller one, and that's basically one I can throw over my shoulder. So here's my small bug-out bag. And, so I'm going to go through this and show you. You can see it's pretty light, and we'll show you what's in there. Now, what I'd like you to do, or maybe suggest you do, is I don't know if you want to take notes, put on a piece of paper or things, some points and things. But what this mini one's going to do, it's not going to naturally do everything that my big one's going to do. But you have to address the main concerns that's going to keep you alive. And that's shelter, fire, and water. Now, you all know the basics of survival is shelter, water, fire, and food. But if you're on the move, traps are not the item that's going to get you food, because traps are going to have to be there for several days. By the time you carve them, set them, that's not the way to do it. So what you're going to have to do to get food if you're on the move is either you're going to have to have a way to get food, and that's going to be you're going to have a weapon with you, or you're going to have a pretty good knowledge of wild, edible, medicinal plants. If they're in season, that's great. A better one that's going to have a longer growing season is the edible weeds in your that are growing at the time of the year, because weeds, well, you know, they're up from March until November, so that's going to give you the widest time frame. And weeds grow everywhere, and they grow like weeds. So that would be your best bet if you're on the move. And if you have a weapon, then you can get meat once in a while. So that's going to be the main thing. So I want to show you a basic survival kit, and we're going to go over what your basics are. Now, you can add to that and have more things for even convenience, even with a small survival kit. So I might say, okay, I might, for example, take a cutting tool to cut wood. That's not essential. It might be something I take, but if you go, oh, that's going to be too heavy, I don't want to take that, you don't have to take that in your mini kit. But when we talk about the basics of shelter, fire, and water, those are things that will have to be in this kit. So let's go through it, and I'll show you. Cheryl, do we have anybody out there yet that checked in?
Teresa, Wendy, James are all on.
Hey, my regular people, thank you for being out there. You kind of make me feel more at home. I appreciate you tuning in again. Okay, like I said, first thing, now, I said I carry this over my shoulder. I use my belt as a carrier. This is my medical, one of my medical kits that I carry. Again, not essential. Medical kits are important, but again, in a mini survival kit, it can be jettisoned, so you wouldn't have to take this. But if you're interested in this, what this container is a rifle shell case. You can get this at Cabela's. I don't sell it on my website, but it's a large rifle shell case. So hunters have it to hold their large rifle shells. And, Cheryl, can they see this good on screen?
Yep.
Okay, great. In here you see a lot of little tubes. These tubes I do sell on my website because you have to buy them in 1,000-unit quantities, and I don't think you want to buy 1,000 of them. So I break it down in smaller quantities for you. But they're hospital-grade tubes, and what you can do in here is you can put your medications in here. So you don't have to carry even the small bottles you buy in the drugstore. You can break it down even more. So on here I have a label make. I bought a label maker, and I put the names of what's in each one of these tubes. So in this, for example, this is Aleve for sinus headache. Okay, so that's one of the things I have in here. And in this tube, this is the 5.0 milligram size. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Aleve tablets. My theory on this is I want to have enough medication to do one of two things. Solve my problem, in this case it's get rid of my sinus headache, or enough medication to get me out of the woods so I can hop in my car and get to a hospital, get home, get wherever. So those are my two things. So I'm not going to carry enough to solve everybody's problem in my group if I happen to be in a group. This is only for me to solve the problem or get me out of the woods. So that's one of the things I have in here. Like I said, some of the other things, Aleve, Tylenol, what I would suggest you would carry in this, that's pretty universal, Imodium for diarrhea. You might want to carry Benadryl for bee stings, that takes down swelling. What are some of the other basics you want to have in there? Probably Pepto-Bismol for an upset stomach. Things like that, things that are pretty common you might want to have. And then naturally any special medications that you might have. Now if you ever go to get a tooth pulled, for example, or you have some dental work and the dentist gives you some stronger pain medication, the first thing I do is I put a couple of those in my medical kit here, because when I'm in the woods, if I have some pain, toothaches or whatever, I want some of that medication. So I put those in these. So that's my medical kit. This is going to go on my belt. Okay, what else do I have in here? Let's open this up. Let's talk about water. This container here, I bought from Centerline Systems. We're going to put that up when it goes up on YouTube. If this is called the Mother Canteen Carrier. It has pouches and everything on it. So if you want this specific canteen carrier, that's where you can get it, Centerline Systems. You don't have to get this specific carrier. It's just convenient. Any carrier, any canteen carrier that you get, you can make this out of. I like it because it does carry a canteen. Any canteen will work. They come in steel, aluminum. This happens to be a titanium one. They're very expensive, but they're lightweight. So here's the canteens. Right, here's my water. This is a tight fit in here, but that's okay. You have to struggle a little bit to get it out. So here's the cup that comes with it, and naturally, probably know it fits in when it's in there. So here's my cup. And here, lid on there. So that's all in there. You can also get a stand that fits on the bottom. If you wanted to have a stand for this, they have stands. Or I usually just put it on rocks to hold it. So if I have to boil water, I can put this on a couple of rocks to hold it, carry water with me. So there's my water. I don't really have to worry about purifying water. Okay, let's see. Oh, let's get all these pouches out. However, in this side pouch here is my SteriPen. And this is the Adventurer. So when I do get water, I can boil it, but as long as the batteries are good in this, I can use the SteriPen. So here's my water purification. And from past videos, you guys know I like the SteriPen. Have a flashlight in, just tucked in. They got these, so you have my flashlight. Let's see. What do I have here? In with my SteriPen. These are 2 extra CR123 batteries. They're lithium batteries. I put them in shrink wrap tubing so there's no way that they can short out and become dead. I put labels on them so you can see they're CR123s. So in this right now are rechargeable batteries, and here are non-rechargeable batteries I use for an emergency. So these lithiums will last 20 years, but they're a replacement for this if I can't recharge these, and I'll talk about recharging later on. So I have this, and I have replaceable batteries for it all in the same pouch. Here's my 550 cord. You can always use 550 cord. But in fact, if you look close here, there's that red tracer in there. This is what they call fire cord. It's just like normal 550 with your 7 strands, but it has an extra strand that's red in there that's soaked in wax. So if you light this, it kind of burns like a candle. So it's kind of, it gives you a little extra edge when you're starting fires. I put shrink wrap. This is the heat shrink wrap they use for electrical things. You can get it at Lowe's. So I put this on there, you fit it on, you get a hair dryer or a heat gun, heat it up, and the shrink wrap just shrinks around there and keeps it nice and tight so this doesn't flop around. A little trick I learned. Right here is bug spray. Bugs will drive you crazy in the summer. I don't know if you've been out there. I don't have much of a problem. They don't seem to like me. I don't know if I have the right blood type or not, but still, this is 100% DEET. And we can discuss about it not being healthy for you, but if I'm in a bad situation, I'm not worried about long-term effects of DEET. I want to get peace of mind, get some sleep or whatever. So you can buy these tubes at Dick's Sporting Goods, whatever, but it fits right in here. They have the little loops for this on this canteen case, which is why I like this canteen case. Okay. Again, what's in this pouch here? Radio. This is an okay. This is just AM/FM made by Kaieto. It is not a weather band. They don't make a weather band radio this small. Okay, you can get weather on the normal AM, FM station. So having a nice small radio like this in an emergency, you can be in touch if the radio stations are still broadcasting or not. So nice small radio works well. Here I also have extra batteries, lithium batteries for the radio. Perimeter alarm. This is one thing that most people don't carry in their survival kits. I do have these on the website. They're the world's smallest motion detector alarm. What you do with this, pretty simply, you pull this down, turn the switch on the side on, and within 15 to 20 feet, if there's motion detected, the alarm goes off. So I have a couple of these set around my campsite. I can go to sleep, and if someone comes into my campsite, this will go off and give a high-pitched sound, waking me up so no one can surprise me in my campsite. These micro alarms are pretty nice. So if you don't have one of these in your big bug out bag or even a mini one, you might want to consider them. You can tie 2 tin cans together and put a string across the trail, but I like these a little better. Again, they are battery dependent, so that's a downside. But so you can put up these and the tin cans if you want. But like I said, I have more than one. I think this is critical in any survival kit. Have at least one of these. And you're wondering, what the heck is it? It's pretty simple. It's a pair of glasses. I'm getting to the age where you need glasses, and you might need them too. And what happens if the glasses you're wearing get broken, get lost, the lenses get broke, and you have to do some fine work and you don't have glasses? Now these aren't the best. They're not high tech. They come in just the diopters at, the normals, the plus 1.5s, the 2s, and they just clip on your nose like this. Not the most stylish. They come in a nice case like this, but you can see they're here and they're better than nothing. So, spare glasses. This little knife is good in case I lose my main knife. It's just a credit card knife. You can get these. They cost all of $1, and they're all over the web. And they just unfold into a knife. Not as good as a sheath knife, but better than nothing in an emergency if you lose your knife. Okay, on this side, what do we have? Let's keep clean. So here we have some wash soap. Files for hangnails and things. I have a fishing kit in here. Again, if I'm going to stay in one place to get some food. Extra batteries. This is something too, kind of my repair kit. Super glue. You can get these at most checkouts. I know around here we have Mark's stores, which is a discount store for those that don't live here. You can get 3 of these for, I think, $2. Great for repairs, but it's great if you get a pretty bad cut. You can seal a cut together with super glue. Now, the hospitals are using a type of super glue. It's very expensive, and it's made for skin, and it's hospital grade. And from what I understand, it's basically went through FDA approval, but it's basically the same super glue. So I just use the cheaper stuff. Okay, down here at the bottom is my tarp. You know I like the 8x10 tarps, the silicone nylon tarps, and that's exactly what this is on the bottom. An 8x10 silicone nylon tarp with the cords already tied and with the titanium stakes already in the tarp. On the strap here, now if I don't like it on the strap because it's bugging me, I can take these off and put them on my belt. Then I'm going to have, for those of you that remember Batman and Robin, Batman always had something called his utility belt, and on there he had all kinds of gizmos and gadgets he used to fight the criminals. Well, you can make a Batman belt yourself. This is a Leatherman multi-tool. It can be, they have sawed multi-tools. I like that, and also on here, I decided to take put another lighter on here. This happens to be a dual flame lighter. but multi-tools, great to have. You have your pliers there. That's on here. This is a emergency sleeping bag. On my website, I have some a little bigger than this and a little tougher than this. I might change it out. You all know the Mylar. Yeah, I think you saw it in one of my last videos. The Mylar sleeping bags, or the Mylar blankets that they made into sleeping bags. I like that a little better than this. This is even thinner. It'll work in an emergency. I'm thinking of changing it out to the other one, so that might be a change coming to my sleeping bag in the near future. And what else is on here? Oh, can't forget this. Not necessary, but since I have so many things that are rechargeable, I do have a solar panel here with a battery backup. So, to be honest with you, I don't care for this solar charger that much. It will recharge solar batteries and things like that. However, it'll take several days. I carry it because it has a battery here, so I can recharge my batteries as long as this battery remains charged. And this little solar panel will recharge this battery back here, but like I said, it'll take a couple days in the sun. I prefer, and this is from my big bug out bag, a bigger charger. And again, in the big bug out bag, I think I told you, it comes with a battery in it, but this one folds out, and this is the one I would prefer. This is 28 watts. If you're looking for a solar panel, you want something about 28 watts or more power. This one is 8 watts. So the solar panel really isn't enough to charge batteries quickly. But you have to decide size versus weight. Where am I going to put this on my mini bug out bag? It really doesn't fit anywhere. So you kind of have to give up something. So I'm going to have to settle for this and use this battery and hope I get sun for 3 days to recharge this big battery. Not ideal, but you have to make compromises. And then in here I do have battery backups, the lithiums, and I have this flex charger, which is one of the coolest things I think I found. This plugs in to any USB connector. So it plugs in to the connector on my charger. So you plug this in to a USB port on a computer or whatever. I'm not going to find a computer in the woods, but you get the idea. And these two ends are magnetic. They'll magnetically go on any battery and they'll recharge it. And what do I mean by any battery? It'll go on a AA battery, it'll go on a AAA battery, it'll go on a CR123 battery, it'll go on the bigger 185/60 batteries, it'll go on any of them. This little tiny computer in here will sense what kind of battery it is. You don't have to worry about polarity, meaning which is positive, which is negative. The computer in here will automatically correct for that. All you need is this, and you can charge any battery off any source you can plug this into. So this is a real convenient thing to have. You only need one, and you can charge all those different types of batteries. So this is kind of cool. So you can see here, we have quite a bit in this little bug out bag. We have our shelter, we have our water, we have our fire with the lighter, and on the back here, and you guys know, of course, I do have my mini ferrocerium rod on the back here. You know I wouldn't go anywhere without that. So I have all that. So that's what can go on just a shoulder for a mini survival kit. So I have a lot more than I need to. Do I need my SteriPen? No, I have my pot that I can just boil water in. But this will make my life easier, more convenient. Do I need a lot of this? No, but a lot of it's for convenience. So you can see that. Now let's go into some other things. You know, I'm always going to be carrying my knife, and those of you that know me know I like my onyoic. So this is my knife that'll be on my hip, and you know I always make my sheath into a little survival kit. So here I have a backup lighter, I have a whistle on the back of my knife here, and I have my ferro rod on my knife. Again, you that know me, I'll always take my axe with me, my Gransford Brooks axe. So if you see me in the woods, I have this on my hip, this in my hand, and this on my shoulder. And I'm pretty much prepared for most any survival situation, and I'm pretty prepared. If I want to have fun, I love my GPS. As long as the satellites are up, I put this on my hip just for playing around if you wanted to take a GPS. I guess I could put I don't have an actual compass on here, which I need to add. So going through your kit like this, you find holes. I just found a hole. There's no compass on here, which I'll correct after this live video. And that goes into the last thing I just want to briefly go over is weapons. If you're out in a survival situation, if you do have a weapon, I know in classes we talk about the primitive weapons, the throwing sticks, and you know, the traps and all that. But if you have a weapon that's more effective, you might want to take a firearm with you. It can help you get game. And even if you do make traps, and if, say, you make a snare and that snare doesn't kill the animal right away, you could use your firearm to dispatch the animal nice and quickly and put it out of its pain quick. So the weapon I choose, and it's just the one I pick. Well, first let's talk caliber. I always choose the .22 caliber because, like I said, we're not starting World War III. We're not taking on, you know, Al Qaeda. All we're doing is we're trying to get game and use it for that purpose. I like the .22. It's small, it'll kill animals, and you can take a lot of extra ammunition because it's so light. The gun I like, any .22 will work. I choose a revolver because there's fewer moving parts and there's nothing really to screw up. The automatics, they're nice. They're even smaller than this. You have more moving parts and more things are likely to jam on you. So for simplicity and reliability, go with a revolver. If you're willing to know how to take a gun apart and want to do that in the woods and things, you can go with a semi-automatic. But I like to go as simple as I can. This happens to be a Smith & Wesson. They call it, the model is 317 PAC gun, P-A-C-K gun. PAC meaning like a backpack gun. It's made of titanium. It weighs 11 ounces, so it's super light. And that's why I chose this gun. It's just a .22. It's 8 shot. And what I did is I upgraded this. I got a different grip here in the back, the black part, and they built in a little laser here. So you can use the normal sights on it, but it has a little button here. So if I want to see where the bullet's going to hit, I just press the button, and that's exactly where the bullet's going to hit. So if you have an extra $200 and you want to really trick out the gun, you can get a grip for your gun. And if you see that rabbit there, you can put that little red dot right on between the rabbit's little beady eyes, and you'll know exactly where you're going to hit the gun. And those crimson trace are good for several different types of weapons. And again, that'll go on my belt. So again, I'm not loading my back down. All I have on my shoulder is the canteen, and most of this other stuff is on my belt. You have the gun, if I have a GPS, which I really don't need. Have the medical kit on my belt. Even I put the Leatherman on my belt. So that's what I have. Other than that, that's the mini survival kit. You can go a long way with that. Again, food would be the only item that I'm not really carrying, but you're going to go with edible medicinal plants, and then you're going to go with game you can get with the .22. And with the .22, you should be able to get squirrel all day long. You should be able to get rabbits if you see them, and that shouldn't be a problem. So, like I said, if a lot of you say, geez, I don't want to have the dependency on batteries, I totally agree with you. Jettison the batteries, you can eliminate a lot of the things. You can eliminate the water purifier. You might even want to go with a pump water purifier. That's okay. That's one dependency. It's going to take a little more effort to pump it, and the pump's going to be a little larger than the Steri-Pen, but you eliminated some dependencies, and you don't need the charger and things like that. There's no wrong answer, but if you put it in there, the only wrong thing you can do is not use it and not know how to use the equipment. That would be a wrong answer. So, and I go out with this, even on a weekend, I'll go and I'll try this stuff and make a little camp. Now, what I don't have with this is a ground pad, you notice. So I'll have to take the time to make a natural ground pad. So I'll need 6 to 8 inches of leaves or debris to sleep on. If I wanted to, I would probably pick the Neo Air Thermarest, which weighs not much. It's nice and small. I'd probably tack it to the bottom of this. But again, then this shoulder pack is getting a little big and bulky. So I'm starting to get my micro or mini bug out bag a little larger than I prefer it. So do we have anybody writing in?
So
Fantastic.
Leah, Paul, and Terry have joined us.
Okay, hi Leah, Paul, and Terry.
Terry would like you to talk about what people call 5 C's or 10 C's.
Oh my God. Is Adam still with us? Adam,
I don't know if Adam's on.
I don't know if Adam's on. I might need some help out there. I've heard it before, and I know Dave Canterbury, he is big on the C's. One is cutting. One is, I don't use that acronym in my classes. That's why I'm stuttering and stumbling. One is cutting. Okay, guys out there, somebody that knows the 5 C's, help me out. I go by shelter, water, fire, and food, and the ways you. That's what you need to survive. So how you get it. But I know Canterbury goes with. One is cutting. One is cordage, maybe. One is. Okay, guys, I'm thinking. I know it's not cooking. You can go 3 weeks without food. Drawing a blank on the 5 C's. They do make sense, though.
Cutting, combustion, cordage, container, cover.
Okay, cutting, let's go one by one, Cheryl. Cutting, okay, you need a cutting tool. Honestly, if I have a choice between a knife and an axe, I'll take the axe every day. Because with a knife, I can carve real nice and easy. I can't cut down a big tree. With my axe, I can cut down a big tree, and believe it or not, it won't be convenient, but I can carve a bow drill with this. So I can do everything with this, but I can only carve with the knife. So I would choose the axe for my cutting tool. Next is combustion. Okay, that you should have a main way and a backup. My main way is a lighter. Beyond that, I go with a flint steel, and then you can use a ferro rod as a third way, and as your backup, you should have the skills to make a bow drill from the woods. Next, container. Okay, in this we had our pot. You need a container to boil water as your backup or your main way to purify water and to make a meal. The other is cordage, 550 cord. You guys know my little fun thing at class to say is how much 550 are you going to take? And you'll say 100 yards. I'll say that's good, but 150 would be better. Next student, how many are you going to take? Well, they're smart. They'll say 150. I'll say that's good, but 200 is better. And I can do that all the way around the class. So my point is you can never take enough cordage. So you need to know how to make cordage and take it with you. And what's the other? Cutting, combustion.
Container.
Container, we said that. Cutting, combustion, container, cordage. Candy. Chocolate candy. That'd be mine. But those are your 5 C's. And they all make sense. Good question. Okay. So those are your thing. But make sure with what you're taking, you can do everything with. Everybody, falls back on they need a knife. And I know in our survival 2, we take your knife away on Wednesday, and Thursday we take your knife away. And on Friday we're doing the field dressing of the rabbits. And people go, how are we going to do this without a knife? Well, I'm a nice guy. I'll give you a flint shard. And people are just amazed how easy it is to skin a rabbit and to gut a rabbit and cut with a rabbit with a flint shard, obsidian, because it fractures at the molecular level. So that piece of flint is 20 times sharper than you can ever get a knife. So it's kind of funny.
Cover was the other one.
Cover. Yeah, cover. You need cover. You need shelter. And again, so what do I like? I like tarps. It's easy, quick, and stuff like that. So, or you need rain gear. I like, again, if you're under 6 foot tall, a raincoat, rain poncho that you can convert into a shelter. You got one thing that does 2 things. That makes sense. And so it's going to do double duty for you. Less gear, 2 things. So and a poncho shelter is just great. But you need cover. You need shelter. So that makes a lot of sense. So anybody out there have a mini bug out bag? Do you have something in your bug out bag that I did not cover? Or do you have something in here that you're questioning, like, well, why the heck do you have that in there?
Terry says he's cleaned many a deer with a flint shard.
Oh, yeah? Pretty easy, huh? It's amazing. I skinned a deer in the back, and I tried to fist it off. Those of you that never try to skin a deer, you start a deer, you start taking the hide out, you put your fist behind it and kind of roll your fist, and it kind of just peels off. And this way you get no meat on there, and it's real nice if you're going to tan the deer hide. If you use a knife, you're either risking cutting into the hide or cutting into the meat, and you have to clean it up later. But I did a flint. A friend of mine, Eric Callahan, made me a flint knife, and it just was so easy to do it. It was literally like a hot knife going through butter. It was just amazing. But one thing, if you ever use a flint knife, they're meant to cut straight at you and pull. If you do any sideward motion, you're going to break that flint knife in a heartbeat. So they're only meant to pull and cut directly. Pull and push. That's it. Sideways, no. They'll break. Anyone else? Anybody have any mini survival kits out there?
Terry has a small first aid kit. A must for any size kit.
Terry, I'm always struggling with my first aid kits with Band-Aids. At least what I'm doing now is instead of putting Band-Aids in, I'm putting a piece of gauze pad because I can cut that down to whatever size I need. And they have something out there now. It's like a little stretchy bandage, but it sticks to itself. It looks like an ace bandage, but it kind of looks like moleskin, but it sticks to itself. So I'll put the gauze bandage up over the wound, and then I'll take this stuff that sticks to itself and I'll wrap it around there. And it doesn't have adhesive on it, but it sticks to itself. And that's what I use to hold the gauze pad in place. And it seems to work pretty good. And it's pretty wide, so you can cut it down, or I just leave it wide. So that's what I'm using instead of Band-Aids. I always try to put hydrogen peroxide in there because ever since I was a kid, if I ever put hydrogen peroxide on a cut, it never got infected. And I just recently learned that hydrogen peroxide is not an antiseptic. But what it is, from what I was told, is just it bubbles, and it bubbles out all of the dirt that's in a cut, and it leaves your cut very clean. So you should use hydrogen peroxide first and then put on some type of antibiotic and then cover it. One other trick with Band-Aids, an old nurse told me this, if you are using Band-Aids, make sure your skin is dry, you know that. But once you put the Band-Aid on, take your other hand and hold it tight for about a minute. What you're doing is you're heating up the adhesive of that Band-Aid, with your other hand, getting it warm, and that Band-Aid will stay on there for 3 or 4 days. I've tried it. It works like a charm.
So Terry does say that's what he carries, the Band-Aid in that. Katie mentioned vet wrap,
Never heard of it.
and Doug Meyer says hi.
Hey, Doug. How's it going? Doug, I got plans to take a bike ride down your way this summer, so we need to talk when you're free. Just to pick your brain. No special reason, just to come down. By the way, Doug's coming out with a book. I believe Doug came out with the book on blowguns. It's quite extensive. I believe he's the only one with the book, and as soon as I can confirm this, it'll be available on my website. And I think Doug has a website, and so my next Facebook Live, I'll have the information. But if you're at all interested in blowguns, wanting to learn about them, and I'm going to put Doug on the spot. I think Doug is still available as a source to sell blowguns. I won't say Doug's good at it. I will say that the Cherokee nation down there, who used blowguns extensively in the past, they buy their blowguns from Doug. So I'll leave you to conclude if Doug's pretty good at it. Yeah, he makes very nice blowguns. So that information will be forthcoming, but I'll have to talk to Doug just before I commit him to making and selling blowguns. But I know his book's, I believe his book is out already, so do some plugging for Doug. That's it.
Wendy mentioned that stuff you're talking about is called cling or self-adherent bandage.
Self-adherent bandage? Okay. What's nice is Cheryl's going to take a lot of my ums and ahs out of this and put it up on YouTube, and it'll be up next Wednesday. And she'll put in a lot of maybe the Centerline website if you're interested in this specific canteen carrier. It's pricey, guys. It's pricey. I think it's like $110. But it's all military spec. It's got a lot of pouches and stuff. So is it worth the money? Yeah, it is. But it is pricey. But she puts all that in and kind of shortens it up a bit. So and hopefully we can get the links to Doug's book in there too.
He's almost done with the book.
Almost done with the book. Mm-hmm. Okay, Doug's almost done with the book. So, but as soon as he is, it'll be well worth the wait.
Terry likes your ex.
Granford Bruck's nice. By the way, for those of you that have not been to a class, just to let you know, we got just a couple minutes. Normal Granford Bruck's X does not come with all this, but my additions are, I like making everything into a survival kit. So, first thing I did, I got hockey tape. I wrapped the bottom part of the handle so it gives me a good grip. Second thing I did, I took gun bluing. You can get that at Dick's Sporting Goods. And I took some steel wool, and since it's a carbon blade, I took some steel wool, and then I blued the head of the axe so it's a little more rust resistant. Not saying rust proof, but rust resistant. Then I took the steel wool again, rubbed it, and then I put oil on it. That helps set the bluing. So if it gets wet and damp, less likely to rust. Then I took oil and I soaked the sheath in oil. So now whenever I put the sheath on, it's oily, less likely to rust. What else did I do? Well, believe it or not, guys, sometimes when I'm swinging an axe, I miss the wood I'm swinging it. I know it's hard to believe, but I do. So here I wrap some 550 cord. Reason for this, again, when I miss and a piece of wood hits here, it doesn't nick the handle, and if it does nick the handle, that's a weak spot. Also, I do have extra 550 cord in a survival situation if I need it. This I just bought up from Canada just to hang from my belt. And then lastly, in the bottom here, I brought a compass that I have in my right angle survival tool. These are available on my website. I got a Forstner bit and inset a compass in there. And this little thing is just a T-nut I got from Lowe's. I put the nut in here and I got a little hex or little screw that goes in there. And I got a little JP weld and I got a little ferrocerium rod on here. So this is a ferro rod for making fire. You're familiar with it? So in here, I put it in. And those of you are saying, well, doesn't that affect the compass? And this is aluminum. So no, it does not affect the compass at all. So here's my Granford Brooks axe with all of its little gizmos and little extras on it. So I just grab my axe and I have a fire making, I have a compass on it, and I have extra 550 by just grabbing the axe. So that's my theory, make everything into a survival kit.
So Terry suggests looking into Army surplus waste pack. It's cheap, but it holds up.
Waste pack, okay, I like that. What I do for my hunting packs, they're always dragging my pants down or they're always slipping down. I like to wear waist packs with suspenders. You can get some good camo suspenders. And for me, that really helps the waist packs stay up. So just what I do to keep them up. So that's about all the time we have. Thank you for joining in. I appreciate it. Again, if you have any ideas for 2 weeks from now, I'd be more than happy. I mentioned our classes. So if you're interested in our neighborhood, we'd love to have you. So other than that, get out there, plant your gardens, and drop us an email if you'd like us to talk on any topics. So have a good weekend, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.